glorifying Radharani. Jaya Jaya Sri Radhe, Jaya Jaya Sri Radhe, Jaya Jaya Sri Radhe. So I welcome everyone to Sunday Satsang, March 20th, 2022. This is the 8th year this program is running on somehow by divine will, blessings of Vaishnava and Sri Gurudev. We're gathering every Sunday, sometimes solo, lockdown type. Many lockdowns, just me and a microphone. But now it's much more pleasurable for everyone to be with Vaishnavas. Satam prasangam maviri samvado. So who has some questions? You're a new person, you have a question?
So, I have a humble request for you. Can you glorify something about Yamuna Devi? Glories of Yamuna Devi? Can you share some glories of Yamuna Devi?
Glories of Yamuna Devi.
Yeah.
What we find in Brajriti Chintamani by Raghunath Das Goswami, he refers to Yamuna Devi as a Shakti of Vishaka Sakhi. She's a Shakti, she's energy, she's Shakti. She's female, she's Shakti. Shakti Shaktiman, Lakshmi Narayan, Sitaram, Radha and Krishna. So Vishaka Devi expands herself in a beautiful blue form, because blue is the favorite color of Radharani. Vishaka is Vishaka. There's no difference between Radharani and Vishaka. Vishaka is born on Radhastami at 12 noon, and Vishaka is born on Radhastami. It's also Vishakastami. Vishakastami at 12 noon. And she's Dhira Madhya, and the Dhira Madhya, they have the same svabhav, same birth time, everything same. Same complexion and same heart to heart. That's why Vishaka stands on the side of Radharani. You ever see Murtis, you go to where have Radha and Krishna and Lalita Vishaka. Lalita's next to Krishna, because only Lalita can control Krishna. Lalita controls Krishna and Radharani. Lalita doesn't have to stand near Radharani, because he's already controlling her by remote control. But Krishna, she has to stand right next to her just to grab his ear. So Vishaka wants, because Krishna wants to enjoy Jalkeli and Noka Bihar and so many leelas, and splashing water, and Jal Mandukya, playing water, making music with water. He wants to enjoy Yamuna. So Vishaka Devi expands herself into Yamuna. So we see that this Yamuna is blue in color. It's because Radharani likes everything blue. The favorite day of the month of Radharani is Amavasya. Dark. Black. Dark moon. It's called dark moon. Dark moon means Krishna Chandra, Shama Chand, dark moon. And she can easily sneak out of her house and run through the forest to meet Krishna in any kunj. But after that, Amavasya then starts Ekam, then Dvitya, then Tritiya, then Chaturthi, and Panchami, and Sattvi, and Annapurna, Chandrama, Purna Chandra. Then it's very bad, big spotlight. Chandra's like a big spotlight, searchlight in the sky. Radharani see it anywhere she's running. She wears white chandan on her forehead to cover her golden skin, and moonstone bangles and pearl necklaces, everything white during full moon time, and white sari, so she can go camouflage, undetected. So I don't know so much about Yamuna. I lived there in Sevakunj for 3 years. I bathe in Yamuna every day. And I found Yamuna is like a sister to me. She was very kind to me. So because my Gurudev said, my Shishya Guru, my Bhakti Vardhan Pradarshya Guru, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he showed me the path of Radha Krishna Bhakti. He wrote in one tika of his books, he said, we've established a Krishna Balaram Mandir in Ramareti So the devotees who live there can easily go every day to Yamuna and take bath.
Okay.
He wanted devotees to live in Krishna Balaram and to take bath every day in Yamuna. It's in his own books. When Prabhupada set the example as an ideal acharya, yadyadacharati shrishtas tatetlavitarojana, Gita is telling. Whatever acharya example he sets, he's a Shrestha Jana, and acharya sets the example. So Prabhupada lived in Radha Damodar Mandir. He had a kutir, Bhajan kutir there, from 1959 to 1965. That's 6 years. I used to bathe every day, winter, summer, spring, or fall. And at that time, in 1959, my Gurudev took sannyas. He was 63 years old. He wasn't a young man. He was going towards the old side. And every day, Prabhupada used to bathe around sunrise. But at Mangalarti time, before the doors to the temple were even open, there was one lady, one Bengali Vaishnavi named Sarojini, something like that. Right? Sarojini, I can't remember. I think Sarojini. And she would bathe every day in Yamuna at Brahmaharta hour, Brahmaharta time, and bring a kalash of Kalindi Pani on her head, bring it to Radha for bathing. And she would bathe herself in her, she was a widow, she wore white clothes. She's soaking wet, and she's knocking on the door. Radha Damodar, Damodar, Jai Damodar, Damodar, Kulo, Mandir Kulo, Kulo. So then Prabhupada was the only one up at that time.
Okay.
Because Radha Damodar was sleeping, and Lalita Vishaka, everyone, all the pujaris, everyone's sleeping. No one gets up so early over there. I live there. They get up at time for the pujari is paid. He can make sure he gets up for Mangalarti, but everyone else is sleeping. Anyway, had a lot of Bhavs that were born there. So Prabhupada opened the door, and he said one time when some devotees later came to that time, he said, "This lady Sarojini, she's going back to Krishna. She's going Golok Prapti. Why? Because she's carrying Yamuna gel for Damodar Snan. Every single day, 365 days a year, for 40 years she did that. It's a very old age.
Okay.
So this shows the power of Vishaka, of Yamuna Devi. You do a little service at Yamuna, you end up in Krishna, Nitya Seva Radha Krishna. That's the power of Yamuna, Yamuna Prabhav. This looks like Pani, looks like a river. There's Godavari, Saraswati, Narmada, Sindhu, Jali, Ganga, there's so many sacred rivers. But Yamuna, serving Yamuna will give you the Sakshat Seva Radha Krishna Yuga. Radha Govinda Yuga and Kunjas of Vrindavan. This is a power, because we can discuss something on the basis of origin and prabhav. Where does this thing begin? What is this sambandha? You define something by origin and sambandha. What is the relationship of this thing with Bhagavan Sri Krishna and Shakti Radharani? And what is prabhav? What is the effect of me, Vadajiva, if I contact this Yamuna? So I know I bathe myself every day for 3 years. The effect is you become pure in mind. You become pure in heart by bathing Yamuna. Yamuna is very powerful. She's a great country. Until I don't know when it was, till 1995, Asli Yamuna was flowing in Vrindavan. In Haryana, they built a dam. They dammed the Yamuna. Yamuna is coming from Yamunotri, coming down, and it goes to Haryana. And the government built a big dam, and they blocked all the Yamuna, and no Yamuna coming now.
Okay.
Sometimes, Barishkal, rainy season, too much rain, dam blocking, Kulo. What do you call a dam? Barrage or something?
Dam under the.
Dam. So dam Kulo, then Pani under. God. So when we were there, Asli was real Yamuna, and so beautiful. I remember the winter walking from Sringarvat, because I walked from Damodar through Sringarvat down to Yamuna. I stand on the steps and I see the Yamuna and the sunset Yamuna. It looked like a beautiful beautiful dark blue, sham blue ribbon, like a ribbon, like moving like a big blue snake or something. It's so beautiful, so effulgent, so beautiful. You just look at it and say, why did I come? It's just like an Udivan. As soon as you have Yamuna's darshan, you want to run and embrace Yamuna. Because she's so beautiful. She's called Kalindi. She has dark skin. Krishna married Kalindi in Hastinapur, in Dasmaskanda. He was hunting with Arjuna. They were practicing hunting techniques. And they went to give some water to their horses because Yamuna is flowing in Delhi side.
Yes. Taj Mahal, around Taj Mahal area.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. No, the only one rule in Vrindavan is always say Jaya Radhe. That's my bed. No, people sleep there, they eat there, every kid sit there and eat lunch there. It's like really, it's family bed. He's definitely family. So they went to Yamuna, and Yamuna Devi, she knew Yamuna's expansion. Asa Yamuna never leaves Vrindavan, but she has an expansion for Dwarkalila named Kalindi. So when Krishna went to Hastinapur, then Yamuna expanded her form as Kalindi. So Krishna was there watering horses, and Kalindi was hanging around the water's edge. She was hanging by, just strolling along the banks of Yamuna. And Arjuna saw her because Arjuna's a very attractive personality. He's the son of Indra. Indra is very debonair. He has thousands of girlfriends. Indra Dev, Mahadev, not Mahendra, Indra. So he picks up girls everywhere. Indra. So Arjuna's his son. You can imagine what a ravenously handsome, beautiful person Arjuna is. So Arjuna, he walked up and said, "Excuse me, a fair maiden, you're wandering here all by yourself. Are you looking for trouble?" I mean, no, he didn't say that. Are you looking for a husband? If you want, I'll take you. I said, yes. She said, no, I'm not interested in you. I want your friend over there. Chuck. You're golden color. I don't like white people. Who's that? Is that your mother?
No, go. What is called Siri? The mobile is called.
Okay. So Kalindi said, I don't like white people. You're golden. Arjuna's golden color. But that dark one over there by the chariot. So Arjuna went over and said, that beautiful damsel, that beautiful girl there, that Shamarang lady, she wants your hand. Okay. Krishna went there in 4 seconds, 1 second, and took her hand and said, come with me, I'll take you to Dwarka. So she became one of the great queens of Dwarka, Kalindi Maharani. So Vishaka played, Yamuna Devi's in Dwarka Lila, she's in Vrindavan Lila, her expansion goes to Dwarka. Just like Radharani's expansion goes to Dwarka, she expands herself as Satyabhama. Chandravali expands herself as Rukmini. So for us, we're Gaudiya Vaisnavas, so we take our conceptions of reality from the 6 Goswamis' teachings. So that other people, because the Vallabhacharyas have a different conception of Yamuna Devi than we do. Well, we accept their conception, but our conception is she's a liquid expansion of Vishaka Sakhi to serve Krishna Madhurya Ras, and also all the rasas, Sakya Ras and whatnot. Thank you for your question. Brings back some very wonderful memories. I used to go out early in the morning and late at night, sit on the banks of Yamuna, chant japa, and just be in ecstasy. I missed it, that experience, but now Yamuna's not there. She left Vrindavan, so I left Vrindavan. I lived in Vrindavan 15 years, I lived here 18 years. So I moved from Vrindavan to Dwarka. Yamuna Maharani ki jai. Srindi Maharani ki jai. Everyone talks nowadays about healers. There's 2 things that anyone is. Either you're a healer or you're a motivational speaker. That's it. If you're a devotee, you don't say I'm a preacher. That's square to say that. I'm preaching Bhagavad Gita. I'm a Katha Vachak. Katavachak, what's that? I don't know what you're talking about. Katavachak. You know, you say, I'm a motivational speaker. That's we see devotees. Krishna Swami, motivational speaker. Or you're a healer. Everyone's healing because everyone's diseased. So Kalindi is, Yamuna's a healer. She's a healer and a motivator. She's both in one. If you associate with Yamuna, she'll motivate, she'll move your devotion. Your devotion will deepen. It will start to become full of ras. Because bhakti without ras is not bhakti. So Yamuna adds ras to your bhakti. Ras means liquid, pani, one meaning. The ras also means bhav, prem. Rasavai saha. Right. Thank you for your question. So another question? Wait, is that guy off? That guy's off. Okay, another question.
Can you speak more about Advaita
Hey, excuse
About Advaita Acharya.
which Acharya?
Advaita Acharya.
Vaitacharya. He's Mahavishnu, one form. So Mahavishnu is the father of everyone. Krishna says in Gita, Aham bija pradapita. Aham bija pradapita. I, bija prada, I give the seed of life to all living entities. In other words, he's the father. Mahavishnu is the father of all jivas. All jivas originate from Mahavishnu. So the father, when he expands children, father and mother, they make children together. You can close that screen door and close that first steel door. That'll be better. Close the screen door and latch it, and then open that door. That'll be more like safe anyway. Otherwise you didn't. So a father always cares for his children. So Mahavishnu, he cares for the jivas. The jivas, Nitya Bhata jivas are expanded from Mahavishnu eternally in this Maya Jagat. But Vishnu doesn't leave it at that. When Lord Chaitanya comes to distribute prem and rag bhakti, then Mahavishnu thinks, well, who's he going to distribute to? He's going to distribute it to my expansions. So Vaitacharya comes first. Vaitacharya lived to be 125 years old. Mahaprabhu was only here for 48 years. So Vaitacharya came first, and for 55 years, Vaitacharya was preaching Harinam Sankirtan and Bhagavatam and Bhakti Bhajan. 55 years before Lord Chaitanya even birthed. So the father of all living entities is Mahavishnu, and when he comes to this world as Vaitacharya, he's the father of all bhakti, all Gaudiya Vaisnava. He's the father of all Gaudiya Vaisnava bhaktas. Because by his bhakti, by his wish, he tried his best. He was preaching. He gathered many followers around him. And Vaitacharya gathered many followers in Shantipur. He had his main place was Shantipur, which is about 35 kilometers from Navadvip. But he also came oftentimes to Navadvip and stayed with Chandrasekhar Acharya, other people. His friends were there. He's an Acharya, he was a Brahmin, he was a guru, he had many disciples. And so many gathered around him, like Haridas Thakur gathered around Vaitacharya. And Haridas Thakur was initiated by Vaitacharya. He gave him Diksha. It's told in, what's that? Vaita Prakash. It's the story, the life story, biography of Vaitacharya. So the most prominent disciple of Vaitacharya is Haridas Thakur. Everyone's heard Haridas Thakur. Lord Chaitanya tells in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, before we do bhajan, before we chant Hare Krishna, we should chant 3 times the name Haridas Thakur. Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai, Haridas Thakur ki jai, Haridas Thakur ki jai. He doesn't say Namacharya, he just says we should say Haridas. He says we say Jai Haridas, Jai Haridas, Jai Haridas. Because he's a Namacharya, he broadcasts the name. So Vaidacharya is, every Gaudiya Vaisnava is indebted to Vaidacharya. Because he brought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to this world. His Ishtadeva of Vaidacharya is Madan Gopal. Raghunath Das Goswami in his Savava, he writes a prayer to Madan Gopal. Because Madan Mohan was installed 5,000 years ago, was carved and installed by Krishna's great-grandson Vajranath. He became hidden in a hill in Vrindavan named Vasudetila. He was buried in this hill. And Vaidacharya came and did bhajan here before the advent of Lord Chaitanya. He was doing bhajan under a banyan tree because our tilak is Vatpatra. The tilak it's called Vatpatra Dharana tilak. It's supposed to be a banyan leaf, something like a heart shape. So there was a beautiful banyan tree on the banks of the Yamuna there, and from the banks of Yamuna rose up this hillock called Dwadasatila, where Krishna went up on the top of the hill to dry off after bathing in the winter in Yamuna. He felt very cold, and he came out. He was shivering. Kaurava said, "You're shivering. I'm so cold." Oh, if you go up there, you get closer to the sun. They're just kids, They're not They're not rocket scientists, This Kaurava, yeah, that's right. Because Krishna, the closer you are to a fire, the hotter it is. You stand next to a fire, you get hot. You go 10 feet away, it's cold. So as soon as we go, let's climb over that mountain. You get warm. Okay, good idea. So they all ran up there, and it wasn't any different. But because the Kaurava said you get warmer, then Sridev has one form, ordinarily. Every day with Krishna Lila had one form. But that day, Sridev manifested 12 forms. And the 12 forms of Sridev gathered on the top of that hillock to heat up Krishna. He got really kugaram. Om Adityaya, Om Arakaya, Om Vanaveno, Om Vaskrayano, Om Hranigravayano, Om Kangayano, Om Rachino, Om Mitrayano, Om Pushnino, Om Ravino, Om Sotri, Om Suryayano. These are the Dwadas means 12 Adityas, 12 forms of sun. So 12 sun planets came there and warmed them up. So under that hill, under a banyan tree, Vaidacharya did bhajan. He was chanting, and one day he saw Madan Gopal. And he talked to Brajraj. He said, Madan Gopal is inside this hill. Start digging. So they dug and they came out. Madan Gopal. So Vaidacharya always called him Madan Gopal. But officially he's Madan Mohan. And when you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna's coverage goes back and forth when he's describing about Madan Mohan. Sometimes in the Bengali he says Madan Gopal, then he says Madan Mohan, Madan Gopal. Like, what are you talking? Make up your mind, will you? you read it, what's going on? Is he Madan Mohan or Madan Gopal? He's both. Okay. So Sanatana Goswami is Madan Mohan. Okay. Madan Sanatan Prandana, Jaya Radha, Madan Mohan Radha, Madan Mohan Radha. Sanatan, so okay, that's good. But there are ways to charities, Madan Gopal. How so? How Madan Mohan became Madan Gopal? Once, Madan Mohan was up there in the Dwasatila and he wanted to play a game with a sadhu living underneath his hill. On the base of his hill there was one sadhu, and Krishna loves to play games with sadhus. You read Braj Ki Bhakti by Obial Kapoor, you see all kinds of play acting Krishna does with his devotees. You read about Bhishma Didi. Bhishma Didi had Gaurani Thakur always playing with her. Her temples there near Bankandi Mahadev in Vrindavan. Bankani Mahadev, and across the street is Hari Gupta's place in Pishma Didi, great Gaudiya Vaisnava lady devotee. She would have Leela with her Gaurnitai. It's in Braj Ki Bhakta. So Krishna loves to have Leelas with his bhaktas. So he wanted to have some fun, because down the hill was his Vaitacharya, underneath this banyan tree doing bhajan. So one day Madan Mohan disappeared from the temple. Acharya opened the temple. Oh, there's no, Madan Mohan's not there. What happened? Couldn't find him. So they went down the hill. Someone said, there's a big sadhu down there, Bengali sadhu, Bengali Siddha down the bottom of the tree there, bottom of the hill underneath the banyan tree. You ask him whether he knows, because they have these sadhus, these Siddha Purushes are trikala again. They can know past, present, future. So he went down the bottom of the hill. He said, hey Baba. Baba's way to show Vishnu, so formal. Hey, Baba, have you seen Madan Mohan anywhere go by here? I haven't seen. He's up in the temple. No, he's not there. He left. Not sure. So he closed his eyes. And then that guy left, the Brishvasi left, went to look for Madan Mohan. So he tried to close his eyes, meditating on Madan Gopal, who people were calling Madan Mohan. And then Madan Gopal appeared in his dream and said, I'm here, I'm hiding in Thakurji's Bagicha. That's nearby, because in the bank of the Yamuna there, from Madan Mohan all the way up to Iskon Gosha was all flowers. On Yamuna's side, Klindi side, it's all Bagicha, full Bagicha, old days. Now it's a Russian house. Russian house destroyed a full garden. They were showing you this guy lives there. all these demoniac people live there. Anyway, it used to be full. So Madan Gopal said, I'm hiding in the Thakurji's full Bagicha. You look for me there. So we did try into the full Bagicha, and he's looking for Madan Mohan. He doesn't see anybody standing anywhere under some trees, not Bagicha, and Tamal tree. Didn't see any Krishna, Madan Mohan, and Madan Gopal. And then, psst, psst, psst. Yeah, psst, what's this? Underneath a bunch of rose bush was a little kid about 5 years old. And the way he said, well, who are you? I said, I'm Gopal. Oh, you naughty guy. You have to go back to the temple. I said, I want to play. Okay, so I waited to try to play with Gopal. He said, no, go back to the temple. Too many bhaktas, you're putting too many bhaktas in distress. You're Bhakta Vatsal. When you bring your devotees to such distress, they're about to commit suicide, then you appear and save them. So they're getting to that point soon. So don't make them do that. They're all going to jump in the Jamuna and drown themselves. So go back to the temple. So he went back. Then Pujari came in the afternoon, and he went, hey, he's back. Well, that's how he got the name of Madan Gopal, because he took the form of a small Gopal. This is in the Ways of Prakash. So I know that about a Vaitacharya. I know some other. I know that a Vaitacharya is very close to Radharani. He's very close to Radharani. He has one in our family. We have a Manjari name for a Vaitacharya, but he has other identities also in Madhurya Rati and different families of the Vaita Prabhu. But I can say unequivocally, and from my own Pratyaksha Praman. Pratyaksha Praman means my direct sense experience. And Hindi is the Anubhav. What I'm saying is that Vaitacharya is very close to Srimati Radharani. Because at one time in my life I was searching for a guru. I didn't have a Diksha guru. And I approached one guru that I wanted to take initiation from. And I didn't even know what his parivar was. I didn't know so much in those days about this. Tilak means that and this and that. Shamananda Tilak. I knew about Shamananda. I didn't pay attention so much to that stuff. I didn't know so much. It was way back when. But then, so I was associating with the sadhu for 30 years and hearing Katha from him. I still didn't know his parivar. I didn't know. They didn't have tilak at the time. It was hot or whatever. I didn't. He never told me. I never asked. I asked questions and he answered my questions. That was good. So when I approached this sadhu, this saintly person, asked for diksha. He said, "No, you're ISKCON. You have everything. Go from here. Don't bother me. Come ask questions, okay, but don't no diksha." So I said, "Okay." So I'm living here in Radha Kunda at the time. Been here since '94, and full time since 2002. So then I was praying to Radharani, please send me a guru. I need a diksha guru, and I really like this sadhu. I know him for 30 years. I know him. I feel him. I'm a Kripa Patra him. I'm a Kripa Patra. He's given me so much knowledge and insight and mercy. So logically he should accept me, but he's saying no. I asked 2-3 times. He said no, no, no. I said, wow, difficult. So I prayed for 1 year every day. 1 year seemed like 12 years, 1 yuga. Crying on the banks of Yamuna. Literally I was crying sometimes. Not every day. I'm not that emotional. I cried sometimes. And one fine day at the end of the year in December 2014, I got a call from Prince Sarovara. That was my teacher, this guru. He said, "I changed my mind. Come here to Prince Sarovara. I want to talk to you." So I went there. I met Baba and Prince Sarovara. He said, I changed my mind. I'll give you diksha and pranali, everything at one time. I'll give you everything. I said, that's nice. Thank you. What made you change your mind? He looked at me and said, it's Radharani's arrangement. So, and then I came to know he's in a Vaita Parivar. Because your question is going to tell me about Vaita, so it's an interesting way I'm telling, but, you know, his name is there. Connection. So then I came to know he's a Vaita Parivar. Then I drew the conclusion, which I opened my talk with, that Radharani is very, very close to Vaitacharya, because Radharani heard my prayers, and she told Vaitacharya, one of your men is supposed to give him diksha. One of your babas is supposed to give him diksha. He's not giving diksha. You can go straighten him out. So Vaitacharya is very close to Radharani. Radharani told Vaitacharya, tell your follower to initiate that poor soul. So it happened. So I have a direct experience of how close Radharani is to Vaitacharya. Because of Radharani's mercy, I got a Vaitacharya, connection to Vaitacharya, through Diksha Parampara. My guru's name is Ashtatara Satashi Pandit Sri Krishna's Babaji Maharaj. Here you go look, Prabhupada. So that's all I can say. You can get it in English if you want to seriously hear more about Vaitacharya. There's what we call a Vaita Prakash. It's a little paperback book, it's not very big. And I also have on my website a lot of 2 CDs about old days of CDs, Vaitacharya, glories of Vaitacharya, and astonishing glories of Vaitacharya. One's glories of Vaitacharya, one's astonishing. The glories of all Vaishnavas are astonishing. So you have your astonishing glories of your Vaishnavas, I have my astonishing glories of my Vaishnavas. Everything is in spiritual reality, everything is subjective and personal and individual. There's nothing, the only thing that's objective in spirituality is tattva. The ras and sambandha is all subjective. Okie dokie. Some other question? Oh, thanks. Really, teacher-student Baba. Raise your hand. I see it.
Okay. Run away.
How did you fall in love with Radha?
Wait. No. No, wait. I can't be blinking. Okay, go ahead.
How did you fall in love with Radha Kunda and why?
What'd she say?
How did you fall in love with Radha Kunda and why?
How do we...
How did you fall in love with Radha Kunda and why?
How did I fall in love with Radha Kunda and why? I don't know if I fell in love. I fell for it. I fell for it. Love is far away, but I fell for the attraction of Radha Kunda. By good fortune and blessings of Srila Prabhupada, we came to know about the existence of Radha Kunda in 1975. In September, BBT published a book called Upadesh Amrita by Rupa Goswami Pad. In English, it's translated Nectar of Instruction. Amrit is translated as nectar. Nectar of Instruction. Upadesh Amrit. So that book was published in 1975. On the back cover is a picture of Radha Kunda, a very beautiful picture. Old days, with lots of trees around the banks and everything. And the devotees would sell that book on Harinam and everywhere it sell. And we look at the cover and I said, this is a beautiful place. I want to go there. And somehow I was able to come to Vrindavan in 1977. I was 26 years old. And we did a whole group tour. We did Prikrama Giraj Govardhan. Giraj Dharan Ki.
Jai.
We came to Radha Kunda, everyone took snan, Radha Kunda did puja and took snan. And something about Radha Kunda, I don't know. It just grabbed my heart and my mind. I said, I like this place. It was much different than now. That's quite a few years ago. 40, almost 50 years ago.
45
45 years ago, Radha Kunda. Very different. But that added to a lot of it. It was but the thing is, it doesn't matter with more people, more this, because there's something transcendental about Dham. Dham is Dham Tattva, it's Sandhini Shakti. Sandhini Shakti is Nitya. All these buildings come and go. They build buildings and they break buildings and it goes on eternally. But the Dham is Nitya. The Gopal Upanishad says Mathura Puri is Nitya. When all pralaya goes on, Mathura Mandal exists, it's Nitya. It's like a lotus flower, everything floods, pralaya, everything floods to the water, but the lotus flower is not flooded. The Padma lotus flower is above the floodwaters. So Braj Mandal is like that. So the qualities, the divine, the Divya Vastu, the transcendental qualities of Braj Mandal and Radha Kunda are eternal. They're always there. So it's the feeling of devotion to Radharani, the feeling of surrender to Radharani, and all that's existing in Radha Kunda. The Radha Kunda was made by Krishna. Shama Kunda was made by Krishna to please Radharani. This is the whole purpose of whole theme of Gaudiya Vaishnavism is Radha Dasyam, to please Radharani with your seva. It begins with Krishna. This is what Gaudiya Vaishnava means. What does it mean to be Gaudiya Vaishnava? Gaudiya Vaishnava means Radha Dasyam. to serve Radharani, to give pleasure to Radharani, and Krishna is the first servant of Radharani. What is Ami Guru? What was that verse? Bengali verse? Ami Guru. Radhikara Prema Guru Ami Shishyanad. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Krishna speaks, Radhikara Prema Guru, my Guru is Radharani, and I'm a dancing shishya. I'm dancing like a puppet on a string, you know, a marionette. Puppet's not a string. Marionette, those marionettes with string, puppets on their hand. So I'm just dancing, and my Guru's just like once. Radharani was on her way to Radha Kunda for Madhyan Lila. And Krishna already had arrived, was already in Radha Kunda waiting for her. So Vrinda Devi came back to Barsana before Radharani left and said, Vrinda, what's the news? Have you seen Krishna? Yes, I saw Krishna. What's he doing? Where is he? He's in Radha Kunda waiting for her. What's he doing? He's learning dance. He's learning dance. Who is his dance instructor? His dance instructor is every leaf of every vine, all the trees of Radha Kunda are wrapped around by Madhavya latas, Juhi latas, Yuchika latas, all surrounded by latas, and little leaves are there, and little flowers. And he's dancing from tree to tree. The wind is blowing, and his dance instructor, his kala, his natya guru, is your form. Your form is being, your rupam, your Radha's form is being reflected in each and every leaf of every creeper. So Krishna's dancing from creeper to creeper, tree to tree, creeper to creeper, learning how to dance by looking at the leaves of the creeper blowing in the wind. That's what Vrinda Devi told Radharani. Wow, he's really gone crazy. Love makes you go crazy, you know? Madanakya Mahabhav. Madanakya means unmata. Mata means crazy, intoxicated. Love intoxicates you, it makes you crazy. Don't do it. We're not supposed to take intoxication. Watch out. No intoxication, that's the most intoxicating thing. Punsa Sriya Matuni Bhavametam. Tiskanda Bhagavatam. So, Rag, how does anybody fall in love? They begin by seeing. It says in the Upanishads that vision is the most powerful sight because vision creates the strongest samskaras in the chitta. The chitta is after you have indriya, man, buddhi, hankara, then chitta, then atma. So beyond the hankara is chitta, then atma. So chitta is where all sanskaras are stored. Sanskaras and vasanas. So the strongest samskara is made by you hear things, you eat a pizza and you have a smell memory of pizza, and you hear some nice music, you have memory, you have samskaras, all sense impression. But the visual sense is the strongest, makes the strongest impression. Impression means samskara on the chitta. That's why we're always told, look at pictures of Krishna, look at the murtis of Krishna, look at your Thakurji. Purify your heart and create deep impressions on your chitta of the form of Bhagavan, form of Radharani, form of Krishna, and your own Swarup. If you have Swarup, you're supposed to meditate and repeat it on your own form. It's called Rup Dhyan, Sham Rup Dhyan, Radha Rup Dhyan. So the first thing we saw of Radha Kunda was a picture of Radha Kunda. And just by seeing the picture, I fell in love with it. The guy sees a picture of a beautiful girl and says, wow, she's nice. Where is she? She's looking to get married. Guy brings a picture. See this girl? Who's this? It's my sister. Oh, you have a sister? I never saw her. Now she's been in college. She wants to get married. Really? When's she coming home? So I just saw a picture and he said, I want to meet her. So I saw a picture of Radha and I want to go there. So when I came here, Radharani, I already had so much utkanti to bhav. I had so much anticipation of meeting Radharani from seeing a picture. A guy sees a picture of a girl, he's going to meet her, he gets so much anticipation. So I had so much anticipation and eagerness to meet Radha Kunda by seeing a picture. So I held that for 2 years. When I came here, Radharani reciprocated me through Radha Kunda. We bathed in Radha Kunda, we did puja. Now I made a sankalpa that I prayed to Radharani. I took a sankalpa. I said, Radharani, I don't know how or when. Please make arrangements for me. I can live my whole life on the banks of your Kunda. That was in 77. And 25 years later, she fulfilled my desire. 2002, I moved permanently to banks of Radha Kunda, and I've stayed permanently in India. You need a visa or citizenship. So in 1998, Radharani gave me citizenship of India. So I had citizenship, so now I can stay here legally without any problem that way. And Radharani accepted me and let me live here. So Radharani ki jai. And when you live here, you get so much encouragement to live here by living here, and through secret. And I live here. I've been here. I haven't left Radha Kunda since 2010. So I've been here for the last 12 years. I've gone to Vrindavan. I haven't left Rajmandal, and I haven't left Radha Kunda. So you stay here long enough, Radharani reciprocates, and you hear so much encouragement. You meet sadhus from Vrindavan, they'll say, where do you live? I live in Radha Kunda. Oh, let me tell you, if you're interested in Manjari Baba, you should live in Radha Kunda. I live there. Really? You live there? Oh, yeah, that's the place to be. My guru lives in Vrindavan, I stay here in Vrindavan. The sadhu I met in Vrindavan. So that's good, you stay there, you'll get everything there. You stay in Radha Kunda. So many of you are living in Radha Kunda by heart living in Radha Kunda. Some also body living here. So Vrindavan is, everyone's here is captured by Vrindavan. Where you do bhajan, it's like gulab jamun. Gulab jamun, whether you bite it on the bottom or you bite it on the side or bite it on the top, it tastes very sweet. So this is Madhurya Dham Vrindavan. It's very sweet. But if you take that gulab jamun and you dip it in sweet rice, then it becomes more sweet. People do these things, Or you take that gulab jamun and dip it in condensed milk. So Radha Kunda is Vrindavan dipped in condensed milk. It's a gulab jamun of Vrindavan dipped in condensed milk. Anyway, it's all subjective. Because if you go to Barsana, to Madan Kutir, and you talk like this, you get beaten with sticks. Because I didn't go there, my Bina Prakriti went there. Bina Prakriti, you know Bina Prakriti? Separated energy. Bhumira Apollo, what's the verse, Gita? Bhumira Apollo. Bina Prakriti. So I said, I didn't go to Madan Kutir, but my Bina Prakriti went. What's my Bina Prakriti? It's a pushtaka I wrote called Radha Kunda Madhuri in Hindi. And it went to the Madan Kutir, to the great Siddha Purush Mahatma living there in Madan Kutir. He's called Shriji, I think his name is Shripad, Puja Shripad Shriji Dasji Maharaj. His birth name is Ramesh. He's sometimes called Ramesh Baba. I think he's called Baba Shri. I think the correct term is Baba Shri. The great Siddha Purush of Rasik Jan Siddha Purush of Brajmandal, Madan Kutir and Barsana. So he got the book. They had a darshan with all the Babajis and sadhus there. So he held up the book because someone told me they were there. Because one of his intimate followers became his follower because I recommended him go there to find a guru. It's one of his closest followers. So he's always telling me what's going on with it. So he held this book. See this book? This is written by this guy, Mahanidhi Swami. he doesn't know anything he's talking about. In this book he's saying that Radha Kunda is the topmost place. He hasn't heard the glories of he hasn't heard the glories of Gaudiya and Varsana. The guy is, who is this Mahanidhi Swami? I know him, he's living here for 30 years, he doesn't know anything. He's a stupid, this, that. He really gave me special blessings. So, everything's subjective. For Rupa Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami, everywhere else in Brajmandal is like a speck compared to Radha Kunda. It's like an atom compared to Radha Kunda. That's subjective view. Everything. If you're a Vallabhacharya, they'll tell you everything is in Gokul. That's one of the main seats of Vallabha Sampradaya, Gokul. Or they'll say Jatipur, because it's a place of Mukharavind for them. So spiritual life is subjective. There's an example there. I see Radha Kunda's the best. In the Samadhi of Raghunath Das Goswami, it's carved in stone. It says, Brajmanda Mukudmani. Brajmanda Mukudmani. Mukudmani, the crest jewel of Vrindavan, of Brajmanda is Radha Kunda. Radha Kundam is the crest jewel. But you go to Gaudiya Vaisnava, they'll say, a different side. Like someone says, did you see my Giriraj? I had these new eyes, he really looks cool. Really? You see mine, he doesn't have any eyes. Huh? Oh, look. Yeah. If you have eyes, you can see his eyes. So I have eyes, I don't put them on since years. Where's your eyes? You don't see? I see. How do you see it? Who is the seer? Is the I the seer or the Atma the seer? Who is the seer? This whole question of Bhagavatam describes this. Okay, I don't know where we are. Let's turn this off and come back to reality. Is there a question can be asked? I don't know what was your question? I thought I was trying to... Did I even remember the question? Anyway, be happy. Don't worry. Say it for now, you'll be happy. Anybody else have a question? Master Dave, ask in Russian. We have translators here. Ask a question in Russian. I have 5, 6 translators. I have 2 official translators. 3. They're undercover now because Russians are in a doghouse, so no one's saying they're Russian now. Everybody Russian will say I'm from Croatia now.
I have a question, Maharaj.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, please. Dashi.
What is considered valid praman? What literature is considered valid praman? From where is the cutoff point?
Valid praman for one man's food is another man's poison.
For the philosophy and the teachings of Mahaprabhu.
Which Mahaprabhu?
Our Mahaprabhu. Gaudiya Vaisnava Mahaprabhu.
There's 2 Mahaprabhus. Vallabhacharya is also Mahaprabhu Vallabhacharya.
Yes,
He was first on the block, by the way. The first one that we call Mahaprabhu was Vallabhacharya. He's much older than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You know, he's equally, not equally worshipful, he's definitely worshipful personality. Vallabhacharya Mahaprabhu. So what is the Gaudiya Vaisnava Tattva Siddhanta? What is the Praman? That's what you're saying?
Where is the cutoff point? What literature we consider valid Praman if we argue about the philosophy, and what literature that is later commentaries on the original literature which we don't
Anyway, I'll answer your question. The valid Praman, and you can help me if I forget something, the valid Praman to establish Gaudiya Vaisnava Tattva Siddhanta is Upanishads, like Gopal Tapani Upanishad. But Upanishads, Brahma Sutras, Vedanta Sutra, and commentaries Govinda Bhashya by Baldev Vidyabhushan. So Upanishads, Mahabharata is valid Praman, Ramayana is valid Praman. Ramayana by Valmiki, and Mahabharata. That's from one. That's then the Shrutis means Upanishads. Vedanta Sutra, which is called Brahma Sutra, is Praman for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. This is and so when we talk about Mahabharata, we include Bhagavad Gita because Bhagavad Gita is from Mahabharata. And so that's Shrutis, and now we have Smritis. Smritis means Puranas. So Smritis are Bhagavad Puran, all the 12 major Puranas and subsequent Puranas are Praman for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So now, Itihasas are Ramayana and Mahabharata. So now we have our own Gaudiya Vaishnava literature, which is Praman, across the board for all Gaudiya Vaishnavas. We have Chaitanya Charitamrita, we have Chaitanya Bhagavat, we have Chaitanya Mangal by Lochan Das Thakur, Chaitanya Bhagavat by Vrindavan Das Thakur as Veda Vyas, and Chaitanya Charitamrita by Asta Goswami, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who's Kasturi Manjari, Kayavyuha of Radharani Sarup. So then we have the Sandarbhas, Jiva Goswami, Satsandarbhas, and we have all the writings, six Goswami, all the writings of Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, especially Brihad Bhagavatamrita, and Stavavali and Stavamala by Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami. And then, so we have the six Goswamis and all the writings. And then coming down, we have Narottam Das Thakur, Prem Bhakti Chandrika Prarthana. Prarthana is also Praman there. It says Gaur Parishad Nitya Sanghe. So there's a song, bhajan by Prarthana. So I discussed with my guru, he said he quoted that bhajan to describe how the associates of Lord Chaitanya are Nitya Siddhas. It says, it's a bhajan, it says, Gaur Parisha Nitya Sanghe. So they're all Nitya Siddhas. Because some people say some of the associates are sadhana siddhas. My Guru Dev used this bhajan by Narottam to prove no, they're Nitya Siddhas. Narottam establishes that by one bhajan, I can't recall now. It says Gaur Parisha, Gaur Sanghe Nitya Siddhas, or whatever. Popular song, I can't remember just now. So, Narottam Das Thakur's writings, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, and Baladev Vibhushan, and that's it.
Yes.
The buck stops there. There we consider the Supreme Court. After that, they're all contemporary Vaishnavas, Acharyas, Mahants of missions, and Acharyas, and famous gurus. But their statements and their literatures and their books are not considered Praman for the whole Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. But for the whole Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya with its innumerable branches and parivars, all the books and authors I mentioned are accepted as Saksha Praman, Mukhya Praman. So whenever discussing Tava Siddhanta, objectively trying to establish Tava Siddhanta of Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta, we have to quote from these shastras, especially Srimad Bhagavatam. The main Srimad Bhagavatam Amalam Puranam. It's a pure, the whole Sandarbha is all about the Bhagavatam. Bhagavinda Bhasyam is quoting Bhagavatam and other Upanishads to explain the Vedanta Sutra, Brahma Sutra. I just finished reading it. I always wanted to read it, I got it, I just finished it. It's amazing. The last third is more ras. The first 2/3 a little dry. Really heavy philosophy. The last third talking about ways one leaves the body and has a verse there from Chandogya Upanishad, 1020 forms. It's towards the end of the book. It's quoted by I heard it was quoted by Baladev Vibhushan on the Brahma Sutra commentary. Now I know the sutra. I think it's in fourth. There's 4 parts to Brahma Sutras. There's a 4th part towards the end. Very interesting. Very interesting. Last story. First part is like.
Why 1020?
It's Shruti. Chandogya Upanishad is Shruti. It's Shruti Brahman. I can't argue. They said we accepted, that's all.
1024. Yeah.
Sadhana siddhas. So you want more books to study?
No, I thought the cutting off point is Baladevi Vidyabhushana, but I
That's
just
what
want
my
to
guru
confirm.
told me.
Yes.
And we study the books of Gaudiya Vaisnava acharyas. They're always quoting books from all that. Sandarbhas and Ravindra Bhasya and all that.
And what are the Sandarbhas about?
Krishna, what else? Sandarbhas described as Sambandha, Avidya and Prayojana of Gaudiya Vaishnava. If you want to be if you really want to know Gaudiya Vaishnavas, you have to study Sandarbhas.
Sorry, say that again?
I said, if you really want to be full of Gaudiya Vaishnava, you have to study Sandarbhas. Study means at least read the Sandarbhas translated by Satyanarayana Das Babaji Maharaj
I
and
have
his
10
commentaries.
copies. I have 10 copies. Anyone wants a copy?
No. 10 sets?
10 sets.
They're for me.
For you, yes.
I'm not selling. They're for my students.
Oh,
I collect, when I give Diksha, I get Guru Dakshin. So I give it back to my students. So this gives me an opportunity to give something back to my students.
Nice. Wow, fortunate souls.
Yeah, they connect with the way the Acharya. They're fortunate. So I owe you some money. You're a bill collector. But I'll give you cash.
No, I'm just the delivery boy. It's not mine.
Thanks very much. Thanks. I didn't know how I was going to get them. I didn't get a reply to my letter. I sent a letter. Not recorded.
They asked me this morning, can you take them to Radha Kunda? I said, sure, I can do it. It's all right.
Okay. Anyway, I didn't get any, didn't send any messages. I glorified the book, I glorified the author, a long letter directed to Satsang through Malati, the secretary or something. The email Jiva Institute goes to Malati. So I didn't get any note that I didn't know how I'm going to get my books. I said I'll take 10 now, 10 sets now, I'll take 10 more later. Well, what's money for? Money's for service. Great books. I'll give you a set today. Fantastic. Okay, some more questions. Any guys awake out there? Dowsy's awake. He's alive.
Maharaj, just Jay, you have read Bhakti Sundara.
I read part 2 of Satyanarayan's first edition. I read Kushakra's edition. I'm starting to go read it now.
I haven't read the Sundarbhas. I never looked at it because they weren't available. I think most devotees here don't know what is. Can you describe a little bit what Bhakti Sundarbha is about?
Bhakti Sundarbha. So, yeah. Someone's asked Commissioner, can you describe Bhakti Sundarbha? Well, Bhakti Sundarbha, because Jiva Goswami is a great scholar. At one time, after many Goswamis went to Golok Prapti, he was considered the leading acharya for whole Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. He was the leading acharya for whole Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. A fantastically brilliant person. He was a disciple of Rupa Goswami. His Diksha Guru was Rupa Goswami. He served him like everything. Everything is Rupa Goswami. So he's completely empowered by Rupa Goswami, and Rupa Goswami is empowered by Lord Chaitanya. So it's parampara coming down. So Jiva Goswami, very systematically, he basically uses the Bhagavatam. He explains all the points of the Bhagavatam to describe everything. What is the definition of bhakti? What is not bhakti? What is bhakti? what is the self-manifesting quality of bhakti? Does bhakti come from punya? It deals with every single idea you have about bhakti. Because you hear people say, if you do this, gyata sukriti, it gives you bhakti next life. All kinds of things you hear that don't add up. When you read Sandarbha, it slashes all misconceptions. It's an amazing book because it's all when you read it, it's all familiar verses from the Bhagavatam. First canto, chapter 2. Many verses from there used as praman, and all throughout the Bhagavatam. He supports and explains all his points. Because he quotes verses from Bhagavatam, then he uses his own language and verses to explain them. And there's commentaries by Satyarayana that are incredible. I erase the letter because when I always erase all my mail. That's a habit I have. I don't like keeping things. I don't have any pictures of myself. I just keep it, you know. So I wish I got read the letter to you. I said, it seems to me this is the fruit of your many lifetimes of bhajan. I felt very happy to write the letter because I glorified him. A person who really deserves glorification is Dr. Satyanarayana Das Babaji Maharaj. So I tried my best in one letter to show my gratitude and indebtedness to his contribution and his existence. Because I said, your son, Bhakti Sandarbha, is a fruit of your many lifetimes of perfecting your bhajan. I felt so. It's a masterpiece. It costs money. How much is 5,000?
5,000 rupees for the 2 books.
5,000 rupees for
It's
2
like
books.
that thick, and it weighs a lot.
But it's, we spend a lot of money on a lot of stuff. Let me see your internet bill every month. Show me your internet bill. Hair, face cream, special natural shampoo, cold pressed olive oil,
Yoga bars.
yoga bars. I don't know, whatever. Everybody's getting everything from the net. I'm getting Amazon. I'm getting stuff too. So you can't spare 5,000 rupees for 2 books? You're my friend, maybe I'll give you some. No, I have a lot of friends. I don't have that much. I'm giving it to my students. At least I can do that. Okay, I can just say, one thing I say, you should read all the Sandarbhas, but if you're not going to read all 6, I think there's 6 Sandarbhas, which is a crime if you don't, but definitely read Bhakti Sandarbha and Priti Sandarbha. Because what happens when you read Bhakti Sandarbha, you get all the other Sandarbhas in there also. Because Jiva Goswami is like that. Because it's a building up. Just like when you get the man, if you get a full-grown man, you get all his education, you get all his doctor visits, you get what made that full-grown man. You had so much. You're getting a fully educated, trained, cultured, healthy person. So there's a lot of background you're getting. So when you get Bhakti Sandarbha, you're getting Paramava Sandarbha, you're getting Krishna Sandarbha. It's all kind of packed in. But you should really go through them all if you have intellectual. But if you're just an ordinary person, just get Bhakti Sandarbha and Priti Sandarbha. They're fantastic. You shouldn't miss that experience. The commentaries by Satyarayana are so clear and easy to understand. Impeccable English. They had a whole team of editors and whatnot. Totally, and the thing is, when you get the 2 volumes, volume 2 has a subject index. Because its previous publication has a subject index. Like BBT books, look in the back, look Absolute Truth, this, that, the other thing.
Index.
Yeah, index. And it has a glossary also of terms. What is Stai Bob and all that. Very nice, very elaborate glossary. Done by Satyarayana and his team, It's a magnum, I say in English, magnum opus. Magnum opus means great book.
So I thought I knew something, and now I have to start from scratch.
That's fine. I
thought I knew something.
I read 3 times Bhakti Sandarbha, and this is my 4th time in starting this.
Really?
It's good. I'll read it 10 times.
Well, Vasudev's son took shelter as Diksha from Satyanarayana.
Vasudev's son.
Yes.
Yes.
Right? Correct?
Smart guy.
Very smart.
We just took a bath. Everyone just took a bath. The most purifying, pavitram snan. Sab log pavitram snan ho gaya. What is the most purifying bath? The most purifying bath is to bathe in the glorification, bathe in the Shabda glorifying of Vaishnava. There's no more purifying bath for the conscience, for the chitta and the heart and mind than hear the glories of the Vaishnavas. Vaishnava Mahima. If our tongue can be used to glorify the Vaishnavas, our tongue has value. If our tongue is used to make sadhana, guru ninda, sadhana, we should cut out our tongue. It's not necessary. You can live without a tongue. Can't taste anything. Can't sing very well. Okay, any questions? What this thing's no, it's not on. It's not. Okay, you're getting a hack of it, huh? Any questions? Seat it up. You're tired. You're not asking a question. You're not wrong. Mrs. Sitaram, hello. Any questions?
Yeah, I have some questions.
Oh God, here we go. Okay, please.
Yeah, I had recently a discussion and I see there are different opinions because in Hari Bhakti-Vilas, there is a very long chapter how to install deities and it's very complicated. It's basically also not possible for the West because you need like herbs which are not available, you need manganese. It's a very difficult and elaborate process. So the discussion which I had was when we worship an uninstalled deity, but we worship him, one devotee said one cannot do a seva parat to this deity. But I was not agreeing, I said. And also I spoke to some other devotees, they said if you worship a deity, even if it's not properly installed, we can do seva parat. So I wanted to ask you what is your opinion about this?
He's asking a question. Just listen and see if I got a question. About installed deity, uninstalled deity. If you have uninstalled deity, if you make an aparad, you don't get a reaction, is that what you're saying?
You can do seva parats or not?
I read a book where Satsang published a book of teachings of his guru, Puja Shri Haridas Shastri. And Haridas Shastri was asked, Pandit Haridas Shastri Ji Maharaj was asked a question, do we need to install deities? And he has 9 degrees, Haridas Shastri, it's in his book. Guru, questions, answers, something like, I don't know what the name of the book is. It's from Jiva Institute. Gurudev, do we have to install these? He says, no, you don't have to install these. Krishna's everywhere. These don't have to be installed. And he explained, he said, the deity, when you see a deity in the shop, if you have bhakti, Krishna's there. If you don't have bhakti, he's not there. Like Indian people, many people from last life, they have natural sanskars for bhakti. So when they go in a shop, they go in a murti shop, if their friend wants to buy a murti, they go and they're touching the feet of the deity, going like this, doing this. This is Krishna. So their vision is devotional, they have bhakti dristi. So he knows more than I'll ever know in 1,000 lifetimes. He's saying deities don't need installation. Why do we do installation? We do installation for acceptance, for public acceptance. Otherwise, people they'll say, devotees will come to us and say, oh, your deities are nice. Who installed these? They're not installed. Oh, your puja's bogus. He said like this. He said we install them so we can get the support of the Vaishnava community. The Krishna is everywhere. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadaviktamurtina. 9th chapter Gita, verse 4. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagat. He's inside everything, outside everything. Sarvatam paripadam tat sarvatoshim shiromakam. Everywhere my hands and legs, eyes and faces.
Vasudeva Savamiti.
Everything is Krishna, everything is Vasudeva. Krishna. So Krishna comes by devotion and he runs away by aparad. So what your deity can be, you can install your deity as long as you have devotion. You start making offenses, Krishna runs away. Then you're eating bhoga, you're not eating prasad, you're eating bhoga. Because Krishna's not accepting it. Krishna won't accept bhoga from the hand of an aparadi. That's why whole Chaitanya Bhagavat, the main point of Chaitanya Bhagavat, don't make aparad, sadhana, Vaishnava, aparad, don't do it. Look what happened to him, look what happened to this one, that one, don't do it. But it's so prevalent in Kali Yuga. Because the ego is so big in Kali Yuga, aparads are so prevalent, widespread. Chinara peace and China, Turori Vasishna, Amanina, Amanidina, Kirtaniya Sadhari. Over and again and over and again, over and again. Amanina. Who am I? I am nothing. All I am is Keval Gurudev Kripa Patra. Bas. You're not a big A, you're a big zero. Where's your prem? Where's my love? Where's my prem? Where's my ecstatic sinners? Koine. We all have a long way to go. So we should help each other by cooperation and appreciation and gratitude and sympathy. Not step on each other's head and elbow. I got my, me first. It's not Indians at a football game. You know? By helping others go up, you're automatically lifted up. First Krishna, because it's explained in Stavati Shastra, the deity first appears in the heart of the king. As a deity, to worship a deity, you have to have money, you have to have land, you have to have Brahmins, Brahmins need houses, they need food. Worshiping integrity requires money, and kings have the money. So first temples are built by kings. So it's explained, I read some amount of Puranas, I read all these Puranas. Said that the Ishtadevata first appears in the heart of the king. And the king gets the inspiration. The king is a Durga worshipper. He's a worshiper of Durga. And Durga appears in his heart and says, make me a temple. And he says, yes, Devi. And then the king calls his ministers, he calls his pundits. He says, I had a spurti of Durga Ma. She appeared in my heart and told me to make her a temple. So let's make a temple. Where? On top of the hill. Okay. What do I need? You need to buy 1,000 acres of property to grow food for the deity. You need 10 Brahmins. Okay, take the money. So first appears in the heart. So deity has to appear in your heart, then the installation is automatic. The external murti is just a manifestation of the internal murti. This is the teaching of the Puranas. The king doesn't say, I'm going to build a temple. He doesn't build it until Krishna manifests in Durga, Shiva, Parvati, Suryadev, whoever his Ishtadev is, until they manifest in the heart, he doesn't build any temples. The manifests first, the temple comes later. But nowadays they build a temple later first and add deities later. That's not the way. First, Madan Mahan was already there. Govindaji was already here. Govinda was already here. Govishwar was already there. Lord Chaitanya told Sanatana, go to Vrindavan, loop the Murti Prakat. Find the hidden Murtis and make them, they're already there, bring them out of the ground. So from Gomata Tila, Govindaji came, from Dwasya Tila, Madan Mahan came, and Govinda came from Yamunaji. Madhupandit manifested Govinath.
Radha Vinod from Kishori Kund.
Radha from Kishori Kund. Radha gave Loknath Goswami Vinodi Lal. And Vinodi Lal likes Govinda, so they ran off to Jaipur together. Damodar Vinodi Lal and Govinda, they said, let's go to Jaipur. The king's nice here. He has a lot of money, has a lot of ghee, he'll give us food. These guys here give us these dry wheat balls and everything. So Madan Mahan went to Karoli. The king of Karoli built him a temple and feeds him ghee all the time. Ghee. Govindaji went to Jaipur. Damodar went to Jaipur. Vinodi Lal went to Jaipur. Radha Madhav went to Jaipur. Jaya Jaya Goswami. You go where the money is. You ever hear of gold diggers? He's a gold digger, goes where the money is. So Krishna's a gold digger. These kings of Rajasthan, they have money and they have bhakti. They're pure devotees of Krishna. So that's one question. More, I like your question, more. See, Volo. Oh wait, take turn one by one. Anyone else have a question? You had a question?
Yes.
Wait, let me turn you on here. I turn on the thing. Okay, wait. Yes.
Would you be so kind, please tell us about importance or place of Archana stay with Thakurji at home and do seva and maybe some sweet stories?
How many questions are there? One question at a time.
Okay. The importance of
You have good posture, by the way.
the importance
I'll try. You're inspiring me. Sits like a baby, you know. Babies like that. That was good. Sit straight. Okay, one question.
importance of Thakurji seva at home.
The first question is to ask, what is the importance of serving Krishna at home? If you make it important, it's important. If it's not important, it's not important.
Straight question, straight answer.
If you want Krishna, if you want Krishna to be the center of your life and your actions and your eating and your thoughts and your eyes and your vision, then you bring a murti of Krishna into your home. And you worship him like a family member. He's not a murti, he's not a deity. He's a family member, he's my parivar. There's my pita, my pati, my pita, my chacha, my mama, and my Thakurji. He's Thakurji, Thakurani, Radharani, Thakurji Sham, Krishna. They're a family member. We're always thinking about our family members. Are they happy? Are they are they cold? Are they warm? Are they clothes looking bad? I have to get some new clothes. This is if you're not a person and not a loving person, don't get any kind of murti of Krishna. It'll be aparad. But if your loving attachment for Krishna becomes so strong that you're not satisfied loving him in your heart and serving him in your heart, then you bring him out of your heart and worship a murti of your heart's Thakurji. Murti is the heart. First, the murti should be a Thakurji of your heart. Then it becomes a Thakurji of your world, and everyone else is influenced by that Thakurji because there's prem sambandha between the Pujari and Thakurji. You don't get a murti because somebody else has a murti. That's the wrong reason. Don't get a murti because someone says you get a murti. That's the wrong reason. Get a murti because you want to love and serve Krishna in personal form outside of your heart. First you worship Krishna personally inside your heart. Inside the heart of every other jiva, especially other Vaishnava, every jiva, you worship Krishna in their heart. If you're still not satisfied, you want more Krishna, more absorption of Krishna, you get a murti. And he becomes the Sinashura of your vision, Sinashura of your life, the focus of your life. First Thakurji, then my husband, then my kids, all that. First Thakurji. Not my husband first, my kids first, my husband second, my mother-in-law third. Mother-in-law third, then Thakurji. No, Thakurji first. Oh, it's so hot, we have to get AC. First Thakurji gets AC. Thakurji's a murti. Get out of my house. I don't want to marry you, get lost. First AC, like my friend, they built a new house. And he said, she's putting AC out, I have AC in my room, my husband's room, we have AC, my daughter's room have AC, my son's room have AC. What about, they have a room for Thakurji also. They have to people have money. They, what about Thakurji? No, Thakurji, no AC. I said, forget it, first AC goes to Thakurji, otherwise don't call me anymore. So next a few days later, I talked to him and I said, "What's the news?" Thakurji has an AC. This is human life is meant to God first, me second. Bhagavan first, Jiva second. Okay, that's one question. Now let's take your other question. Yes. Second question.
That was all the same. I also asked maybe you can share some sweet stories about these relationships with Thakur. Maybe something your personal. You said you have very rush. Maybe you can go for this.
I don't have any fancy stories. She's asked me, do you have any stories you can tell about your Thakurji? Some are a little embarrassing to tell. You know? But I never told this one publicly, but I'll tell it now because I'm asked, and I guess Krishna wants it to be told. But once we had a small group of devotees early in the morning. We were doing Giraj Parikrama when I was better health. Now my health is not good. 2 years ago I had a stroke, so can't walk so much. So we were on Gaudiya Parikrama, so it was Anukut Mahotsav. So I brought my Gaudiya shield with me around my neck in a little pouch. And because it says if you're Gaudiya, you should worship Giraj at Gaudiya Hill on Anukut Day, and Kartik Anukut, Gaudiya Puja, it's called Gaudiya Puja. So you're at Gaudiya, you should worship Giraj at Gaudiya Hill. I read like that. So there's a place right after Kusan Sarovara, near Gwalpakur. Near Gwalpakur, there's a place Kusan Sarovara, and further down the Parikrama is Gwalpakur. Coward Boy Kund or whatever. So there, the Giraj comes out of the ground there. You can see Giraj coming out of the ground. There's it looks like a mini Govardhan Hill. It's long like that. There's a Parikrama mark. People walk around it like that. And there's some Govardhan shields there. And there's some have a little shell. There's like little shell. It's like a little mountain, but it's only about 1 meter high. It goes 10 meters long or so. 10 meters long. And there's some, the way the Govardhan Hill is shaped, it goes up, it goes like a little shelf, little table. So it's just perfect for a D. The rock is shaped like this, and it's leaning back. So I'm putting my Giraj here, and he's not going to roll out. So then we brought all bags with us with Panchamrit. It was about 10 people. The idea was we were going to do a whole Abhishek of Giraj. We're going to bathe Giraj and worship Govardhan Hill at the same time. So we offered Panchamrit, Abhishek, and everyone offered Gilam and incense. Then we did Kirtan, and some Stutis. Then we did Parikrama that. Then we went to continue Parikrama. So we had so many things to pack up. We had to distribute sweets to all the kids and everything. It was a big utsav there. So we get to Manasi-Ganga. When I go to Manasi-Ganga, we always take darshan of Hari Dev. Giraj Maharaj Ki Jai. So we went Hari Dev Mandir, and I was going to pay dandavats, so I went my hand like this, and I had a sweater on. It was cold, you know. So I went to find my pouch. I was taking it off my neck. I touched my pouch. I said, "It's empty. There's nobody there." And as soon as I said, "Oh," because when we were doing puja at that place, there were some 3 or 4 Brahmins from Mathura were waiting to do the same thing I did. They were waiting for me. So we were going to do puja also. They're from Mathura Brahmins. They were going to put a shield there and do puja like I do. It's a very popular place for that. Apparently, I didn't know, but I came to know. So I said, as soon as I was like, I said, "My garage." And all of a sudden, I left him there. And that's like 5 kilometers back there. And I said, "Oh my God, there's good Brahmins there. They must have taken him because he's so cute and he's so adorable. Anybody will just pick him up." And they said, "Oh, he left him here. It's okay. Take him home, you know." So I said, I'm tired of it. And there was one devotee with me, a young person, quite young person. So I'll run back and get him. So they left. They ran back to Gopal to get Giraj. And I was looking at Hari Devji. I was crying like anything. You don't realize how much you're attached to something until it's taken away from you.
Mm.
So I was ready to Giraj. I'm an operati and I have no good qualities. Don't leave me. So waiting. It takes a long time, 4 kilometers there, 4 kilometers back, 8 kilometers. So we're in the temple a long time. I was just sitting in a corner. I was sitting for Indeed. I just set my head down. Everyone was changed up. I was lost. I was just praying. The person came back, "Maharaj." They had it. I said, I said, "I'm not taking you on Brickle again." I said, "I'll never ever again take you on Brickle. I may get lost on Brickle. I may get kidnapped, whatever. But I'm not going to leave you lying here and there." That's his story with an amazing experience. Now that was a little sad, relapse type sad one. Now to a happy one. Every day, the appearance, my Giraj appeared. I was in Radha Damodar at Sevakunj, and one sadhu came in that kutir, and he gave me this Gauranga Shila on Indira Chodasi, Ashwina Maina, right before Kartik. It was Indira Ekadasi, then it was Chodasi, because I marked the day. So the sadhu came, and he had the Gauranga Shila. I said, "I want to give you this Gauranga Shila to worship." I said, "Okay." Because the thing was, I was living in Radha Damodar. I had the desire to worship Radha and Krishna. But I didn't want to buy a deity of Radha and Krishna. Because I said, if I have any devotion, I made a prayer to Krishna by heart. I said, if I have any devotion, if I'm supposed to worship you, you should come to me, then I'll know I'm supposed to worship you. And I can anybody go to the market and buy a murti. I can go and buy a murti. I bought for many people myself. I went with them, picked out and bought. So I said, "Krishna, I want to worship Radharani, I will worship you together." So I used to do puja in 1977 in San Francisco Temple, Radha and Krishna, Radha Gokulananda. So this was 1991. It was like ways later. And I hadn't worshipped a deity since then. So I was feeling some separation from Radha Krishna. I said, I want to worship you, but you have to come to me in a special way. So every day I was bathing Yamuna. I said, "Yamuna Devi, please give me a deity of Radha Krishna." So I was diving under the water with my hands going through the sand. Because sometimes people find deities, people throw deities, they throw more Thakurji in their Yamuna Devi. To be Sarjan, Radharani, Krishna, Shalagram, whatever. So I was feeling my hands. I found Ganapati. I said, "Jaya, Ganapati Baba and Jaya." Super. Then I found Hanuman. I said, Hanuman ki jai ho. I found Saraswati. Yeah. Very nice. You know, they're nice. I like them. I put in my head. I said, okay, you go back. I didn't find any deity. I said, okay, I'm not going to worship. So then this sadhu came. He came one time. He said, I want to give you Gauranga Shila. And I said, I don't want to go around Shila. I do Parikara Gauranga. I don't want to go around. I want Radha Krishna. You sure? I said, yeah, I'm praying to find Radha Krishna. Go, get out. I know. So he said, okay. You know. So he came back 2 weeks later. And this time he came. He said, I'm giving you Giriraj. I said, I don't want Giriraj. Oh, Radha Krishna. He said, I don't care. I bought paraphernalia. I bought a crown and some outfits. You're taking him. You're worshiping Giriraj. I said, okay. He said, here's this Giriraj is Krishna, this Gunjamal is Radha. You want to worship Radha Krishna? Here they are. Worship Radha Krishna. I did. Thank you for giving me for my aparat. So I was a little bit adamant about worshiping Radha Krishna. So my prayer was answered. Krishna appeared to me as Giridhari, and Radharani appeared to me as Gunjamal. So they're with me. So that was in Indira Chodasi in 1990. So every year on Indira Chodasi, you have Avirbhav Titi Mahotsav of Giriraj. It's like Radharaman, have Avirbhav Titi Radharaman, and day after Sri Chaturthi, right? Radharaman Avirbhav, the day that he manifested, he was a Sadhguru and became Radharaman, the day after Nishriya Chaturthi in Vrindavan. So every year I celebrate that day. So one year I was working on my citizenship. It was because it's before Kartik, because I never stayed in Delhi for Kartik. It was Indira Chodasi, it's Ashwin Maina, it's like 3 days before Kartik. So we celebrated Giriraj Avirbhav Titi in Delhi. I was in a guest house. So people bought all kinds of offerings. A huge offering had like 150 preparations, all over the floor, everywhere. We fed the whole guest house and all the chokiraj. Everyone came. There was a big party. It was really fun. So we made an offering. Then we went outside the room and we came inside. Giriraj was sitting on his throne, and I couldn't find Giriraj. He was gone. I said, "Where did he go? What's going on here? This Giriraj is disappearing act." So I don't know. I said, somebody took him. No, we were all outside. He was inside. We locked him inside all the boga. So and he was on Singhasan, sitting there, and a few steps down, there was a big pot of sweet rice, big pot of kheer. So somebody said, maybe he jumped into kheer. This lady that makes kheer, she's famous for her kheer. This Grihastha lady, she made very good kheer, kishmish, kaju, keshar, all the good stuff, you know. Real thick, slowly cooking down, not fast. All the rice melted and homogenized, you know. Like really dynamite kheer. So I said, no, well, he's not going to jump into kheer. Come on, he's not crazy. He said, well, he's a kid, you know, kids don't do anything. So I washed my hands, I put in the kheer. Giriraj, what are you doing bathing in kheer? That's something you taste it. Panchamrita Abhishek, Panchagavya Abhishek, Panchamrita Abhishek. What is this kheer Abhishek? So then we washed him off. And so needless to say, that was transcendental kheer. Giriraj jumped right in, head first into it. And we have a slang expression. We dive in, man. Dive into it. You know. Dive into it. So listen, you want a story of my Thakurji? I tell you that story. That's all. I don't have too many stories. What, you have a third question? You have a string of 3. Let me ask you a question. Do you do yoga? Are you a yoga teacher? You're a good teacher. You walk, you sit, you talk, or whatever. You walk your talk. Very good. I try to sit straight. It's a little harder now, but before I would sit like that 2 years ago. I always give class like that. I never leave on the outside. We should see Krishna gave us a backbone, use it. Anyway, some question? I know if I look this way, if I glance this way, I'm not looking, I'm not looking this way. I'll do a sidelong glance. Yeah. Okay, what's going on? I don't know. What is that? Okay.
What is the ideal standard that we have to maintain in our Thakurji worship at home?
What did you say?
What is the ideal standard way of maintaining Thakurji worship at home?
What is the ideal way of maintaining Thakurji worship at home? How do you worship yourself?
Yes, I have my views.
No, what I'm saying. The ideal way to worship Thakurji is how you worship yourself. You bathe yourself every day, you dress yourself in clean clothes, you offer nice food. Everything nice, everything good, first class should offer to Thakurji. You know, Thakurji, Krishna Thakurji never gets anything old and never anything used. Always fresh and new. And when you're cooking for Thakurji, don't buy any bottle, everything should be fresh. You want to make tomato paste? You know tomato paste?
Like tomato ketchup.
like spaghetti, pizza, anything you make like that, you don't buy canned things. Don't buy canned things, don't buy bottled things.
Because now I can cook or we offer only dry fruit. It's okay or not?
Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhakti prachati tadam bhakti paritam ashnami prayatatma. Ashnami. Ashnami means eat. Kavo. Kavo means eat. Ashnami, Krishna eats a patra, eats a leaf, eats a tulsi leaf, eats fruit. It's offered with love. So whatever you offer with love. And it should be clean. You say you're offering dry fruits. So all the dry fruits must be washed in filtered water, not tap water. The water you drink, Bisleri Pani, you drink filtered water, you wash because so much dirt on dry fruit. All raisins, all nuts, everything, you wash them first very thoroughly. You see when you wash how dirty they are. Raisins, like I have a rule in the kitchen, wash everything but the flour. I say wash everything but flour. Yeah, wheat flour, you don't wash it first. It's a joke. Fruits, vegetables, everything washed. Dry fruit is so dirty. It's a very dirty thing. All ants and all kinds of bugs and everything. Should be thoroughly washed, 2-3 times washed. The standard of Thakurji worship is this: cleanliness, everything new, everything fresh, and with love. That's.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yes, wait, so let me get going here. Yes, sir.
Yes, Maharajji.
What is your name?
Balram Leela Das.
Balaram Leela?
Das.
Nice name, Balaram Leela Das. Yeah.
So, can you enlighten us your first meeting with Srila Prabhupada? Any interaction with Prabhupada? You have some question answer or something?
I never met Srila Prabhupada.
Oh, really?
I joined LA Temple in 1975, in March 1975. And Prabhupada came to Los Angeles, California, LA, Los Angeles. He came there in 76 and 75. I saw him, I went on morning walks with some devotees. I saw him personally. I never talked to him. I never asked him any questions, so I can't answer that question. I was in our temple president. I was recommended for Diksha by by my temple president, and Prabhupada wrote a letter back, and it's on the folio, ISKCON archives folio letter. He says, I accept these bhaktas for initiation. You give her the name Mahanidhi Das. And you do a fire sacrifice, you give them the beads. So GBC, you chant on the beads, temple president, whatever. So I was initiated by representatives of Prabhupada. Harinam. And for Diksha, they played a CD. Recording. Prabhupada was in India, played a recording. So that's my Diksha. It's not proper Diksha. So I took proper Diksha by the proper Diksha system from Pandit Sri Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj. So I was, because in Antilila, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes Diksha. It says, Diksha Kali Atma Samarpan. So at the time of Diksha Kali, time of Diksha, the disciple has to do Atma Samarpan. He has to Mano Kaya Vakya. He has to surrender his body, mind, words at the lotus feet of Krishna, lotus feet of Guru. He has to fall down off her dhanabats, touch her feet. Diksha is a process. There's sanskara. Diksha sanskara. There's nyas, the Guru does nyas, tilak dharan, mantra, nam, mantra, tilak, yagya, everything is done. Puja means Gatstapana puja or Giraj puja. There's no yagya. Gaudiya Vaisnava Diksha, there's no homa. There's some pujas done. The Shishya worships the Guru, and Gatstapana, there's a Gatstapana, what do you say, Gatstapana, right? Kailash, all Thakurjis, Vitar, all Thakurjis. So that's the Diksha process. So it's not done. It's like nothing to say. Another question? Oh, it's a team here. Okay, ask a question.
I would like to ask about food in spiritual world. All food has consciousness. All food stuff have consciousness in spiritual world, like milk, everything. So the question is.
Yes, every guru, every teacher, every devotee gets asked this question by clever people. Everything's transcendental in the spiritual world. That means apples are transcendental. It's all chit shakti. So what happens when Prabhupada was asked the same question. Every guru is asked the same question. Every devotee that preaches is asked the same question. What happens to food when you eat it?
No. Yeah, how they feel? Yes, because because everybody grain them apart after. I don't know.
It's a Chintya Shakti. Jiva Goswami explains in Sandarbha. We have to accept the principle that transcendence is a Chintya. It's beyond our conception. Nothing there is material. There's no material body. There's no pain. There's no birth, no death, no disease, no Bhayam, Dard. There's no fear. There's no pain. So somehow, and everything's nitya. Everything's nitya. So you eat an apple, and an apple still exists. Like they asked Prabhupada, Sir Prabhupada, you eat prasadam in the spiritual world? Yeah. What happens after you eat? Here, after you eat food, then something happens. Some digestion happens, and the metabolic process. Prabhupada, so the way says, what happens after you eat food? So when you go there, you'll find out. when you go to Golok, you'll find out. They have a phrase in English, maybe you don't have Russian. They say, a fool can ask more questions than a wise man can answer. A pagal can ask more questions than a Vidwan Shastra Nipun Sadhu Muni can answer. So that comes under that category. What are you worried about? What's going to happen when you get there? Try to get yourself there first and find out everything. Like Prabhupada used to say, people ask him, why are we suffering in this world? How are we here? And Prabhupada gave a nice analogy. If you're in an apartment house, and the apartment house is, being bombed by Russians. If you're in an apartment house and it catches on fire, and when you're sitting in an apartment house with your friends and family, do you ask the question, hey, who started the fire? How was the fire started? I think it was started by kerosene. No, somebody's stove blew up. No, a missile hit the apartment building. I don't know. So wait, let's get out. Grab your cell phone. Let's get out of here. So when your house is on fire, you don't try to figure out how it started. You just get out. So probably uses an analogy to silence all stupid questions. How we got here? Why are we suffering? This, that. You're suffering. That's a given. We're suffering. You're suffering. Janma Mrityu Jaya Vyadi Dukkha Doshanam Darshanam. So get out. Do Bhakti Bhajan and get Prem City. Prema Pamartha Mahan. Our goal is Prem Seva Radha Krishna. Nothing else. We don't Mukti Nechaye. Prem Seva. Radharani's Prem Seva. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never preached go back home, back to Godhead. Nadana Janana Sundrim Kavitam Va Jagadisha Kavitam Jagadisha Kame Mama Jamale Shri Bhavatar Bhakti Rajagi. He said, I don't want to go back to God. I don't want to go to the spiritual world. I want to take birth after birth and engage in Bhagavat Bhakti. Because if you're doing Bhagavat Bhakti, you're in the spiritual world already. Prabhupada said his temples are a spiritual world. Prabhupada said, my temples are Vaikuntha Dham. Temple means Bhakta and Bhagavan. We have Bhakta and Bhagavan, you have Prem Sambandha, then you're in Vaikuntha. Golok Dham. You're not going anywhere. It's all here. Sarvagata Vibhu Ananta. Upari Ado. Adi Lila Chaitanya Charitamrita. Adi Lila chapter 5, verse 18. Describes Golokadam. Golokadam Sarvaga Vibhu Ananta. Upari Ado. It's Upari Uber Ado is Nietzsche, and it's everywhere. It's unlimited, Ananta. And Vibhu, it's great. Spiritual world is in your hearts, in your minds. Don't go anywhere. Stay right where you are. Where you are is where it is. It's not there, it's here. Realize it, see it, feel it, and serve it. Going on. Siddhanath, please give us a question, sir.
Maybe it's not so impressive question, but somehow I...
No, it's okay. I'm with you.
Okay. Something in regards of Hari Katha.
Oh my God. I triple. Yes.
Hari Katha says that red and blue are forbidden for Gaudiya. So the discussion about red, we know that actually saffron is not allowed. But I was thinking about it and also speaking with one devotee, but we didn't came to one conclusion. So red and color are forbidden us to wear. Means that only in the mandir by taking darshan or when we're making puja at home, that would mean that the sannyasis, which is that dispute, can they wear saffron or not, it would actually allow that they wear saffron, just not doing in the mandir. And what is with blue and red? Is it only meant for men and not for women? Because I know when my wife, she has many saris, they have a lot of some.
Well, married women are supposed to wear red saris anyway.
Where is the border to make, if it's now a blue sari or blue kurta, it is very unclear how to understand it. So maybe you have an opinion.
Opinions are not so much value. Everything should be praman. Guru Shastra Sarvakya. Guru Shastra Sarvakya. It should be the words of Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu. So in the early 80s, there was many parts of Hari Bhakti Vilas was translated in English by Mahanidhi Swami, and Head Krishna Balaram Temple read that no one should do puja in red cloth, no one should wear red cloth when they do puja. So when sannyasis or brahmacharis were on the altar, I don't know about sannyasis, because all the puja was done by brahmacharis. He said every brahmachari comes on the Krishna Balaram altar, he has to wear white. So they're all wearing white to follow Hari Bhakti Vilas. This is history of Krishna Balaram Temple, 1984 or 5. I came in 87. It was after 87. Maybe 84, 85, so it was still going on then. They would wear white. Then it got to Prabhupada. Somehow I got to GBC. Brahmacharis were wearing white. No, stop that. They should keep the saffron. So the fact is, when you do puja, you should wear white. What's wrong with white? White is very nice. Because it even explains in the same Hari Bhakti Vilas and also in other shastras, if one wants to do Purushcharan Brat, or wants to do some Brat, where he wants some mantra siddhi, he has to wear white cloth. It says right in the description in Sanskrit, Shukla Vastra. Shukla Vastra means white cloth. You can't wear a red sari and do Purushcharan Brat or a red dhoti, or it has to be white. White is always for puja, mantra, dhyan, and for mantra siddhi you have to wear white. Paramahamsa. And then the thing, red cloth, it says, Prabhupada was asked, it's also in the conversation book, you can see it. Prabhupada, it says Nectar Devotion, we should not wear red and blue in front of the deities. So what does that mean? And Prabhupada answered, he said, it means we should not wear red and blue in front of the deities. Classic answer, I asked Advaita Das about this question. He said the rule doesn't apply to women. The rule doesn't apply to women. If women do puja, they should wear white. But for coming in the temple and taking darshan, because some missions, some Gaudiya missions, they don't let their disciples wear blue, because that's Radharani's color. So this is not in Shastra, this is Bhav Vichar. This is Bhav Vichar. It's the Bhav of that Guru or that Acharya. So we have to, if we're with that Acharya, we should accept that. If he's our Acharya, if he's our Guru, we have to accept the Bhav. Because in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya explains to us how do we accept what's right or what's wrong. He gave two criterion. He said, if something is siddhanta, is siddhanta virud or rasabhas. So these are the two things. We measure some philosophy or some practice or whatever. Is it siddhanta virud? Siddhanta virud, is it against the siddhanta? Is it against the shastra? And is it rasabhas? Is it overlapping of mellows? So he spoke this and he says that Lord Chaitanya, if he heard rasabhas, some poetry, some writing rasabhas, or siddhanta virud, says man ati krodha. It says in Bengali, his mind would become very angry. Man ati krodha. Krodha means anger. Manera ati krodha. He would become very angry if he heard some devotee speaking rasabhas or siddhanta virud. So we want to see. So Shastras just say Radha Krishna. The Nectar Devotion says one should not wear red and blue in front of these. It's okay when you go to see these, don't wear red and blue. What's the big deal? Why this? Why? Just be shut. 16th chapter, Gita, verse 23. What is it? Shastra vidyam utrija vartate kamakarata nasa sinamavapnoti nasukam na paramgatim. Very clear instruction. Vartate kama karta, kama varta, kama vart. You want to follow the kama marg. You want to follow, do your own thing. Oh, I like blue, get out of here. I like red, get out. Okay, go. Where does it take you? If you want siddhi, if you want perfection, you have to follow Shastra Vidi Utrija. It is Shastra Vidi. Bhakti Sri Sindhu says, don't wear red and blue in front of these. Okay, what's the big problem, man? Read a Shastra and follow it. You come out of the temple, put on your red polo shirt and run around the block, you know. Who's going to stop you? But honor the Thakurji. Rupa Goswami is Rupa Manjari. He says he's always quote Bhakti Sri Sindhu. It's only quotes from Puranas. It's all quotes, all different Puranas are there. All about Sadachar. This is Sadachar, Vaishnava. No Sadachar, no Vaishnava. Sadachar is Sadabhushnava. Vaishnava is Bhushan, is Sadachar. The ornament of the Vaishnava is Sadabhushnava. Third canto, Kapila Muni Shiksha. Chatikshara Kurunika, Surita, Saradevana. Yeah, anyway, but then Chaitanya Charitamrita says, behavior is Sadabhushnam. The Bhushnam means ornament. The decoration is proper behavior. So our behavior is guided by Shastra Vidi, means the rules of Shastra. Do it. Yama niyama. Do this, don't do this. Don't wear red and blue. Okay, no problem. Jai, Rupa Goswami ki jai. Is that a problem? Don't wear red cloth and do puja. Okay, I wear white cloth and do puja. But technically, Gaudiya Vaisnavas aren't supposed to wear red cloth. There's four or five verses in the Hari Katha says Shukavastra. Vaishnavas should wear white cloth. It's not Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Ramanandi sadhus, they wear red cloth and they're Vaishnavas. But Gaudiya Vaishnavas, no red cloth. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had red dhoti, but we wear white. This is Shastra. You ignore it, you say, what I care. Then where do you go? Krishna says you ignore the Shastra, you get no perfection, no siddhi, no golok prapti, no yoga. Bhakti is not for fools. Bhakti, you have to be intelligent and sense control. Samadhamas was, yeah, control of senses. Danta. No. Vacho vegam, mansa krota vegam, jiva veda. Control the senses. The tongue must control. And show your behavior. No behavior, no Vaishnava. It's simple. I'll do my own thing. Well, do your own thing in Narak Loka, man. Narak Loka is for you. Do your own thing. Got a little excited on that one. Anyway, let's see. Any more questions? Balaram Leela? I love your name. It's a great name.
So, can you glorify Shripad Madhavendra Puri? Means, how can we grab more mercy from Shripad Madhavendra Puri?
Very, very, very nice question. Thank you. The devotee is asking a question, how can we attain more mercy from Shripad Madhavendra Puri? Madhavendra Puri took his diksha in Madhva Sampradaya. He took sannyas from some Advaitin, so he got named Puri. He was sannyasi, Madhavendra Puri sannyasi. But Madhavendra Puripad, he's the first, he introduced the Vira of Radharani. The Mahabhav, the mood of Radharani's Mahabhav, and feeling intense pain and separation from Krishna, was introduced by Madhavendra Puri. He was a great, great Vaishnava, Madhavendra Puri. There's a whole chapter, Lord Chaitanya recounts the glories of Madhavendra Puri in Madhya Lila chapter 6, I believe. Is that right? Madhya Lila chapter 6 is all Lord Chaitanya, and he went to Ramuna, Kir Chor Govinath, and Ramuna Arista, and Lord Chaitanya glorified Madhavendra Puri. Whole story of Nachi and all everything, Chanda and all the things. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, 2 or 3 times, the famous verse that Mahavendra Puri was speaking when he left his body indicates what was his bhav, what was his stairati, what was the stairati of Mahavendra Puri, what was his bhav, and who was his Ishtadevata. His Ishtadevata is Radharani, and his stairati is Madhurarati, Bhavalas Rati. He's in the mode of Manjari. He's identifying, he's Bhav Tadatmi with Radharani, Bhavalas Rati. He's showing Manjari Bhav. Madhavendra Puri is showing Manjari Bhav, Bhavalas Rati. He's leaving his body, he's over and over again. Ai dinate ardanate matrana kadavalokise, Ridyam katram, Ridyam aloka katram, Dayati kim karam, Dayati brahmati kim karomyam. What am I going to do? Krishna, you left me. You were Radhanath. You were Vrinavanath, Radhanath. Now you left me, you ran to Mathura, now you're Mathuranath. I can't see, my heart is breaking. Katram, Ridya Aloka Katram. Without seeing him, my heart is being just broken and cut in pieces. Katram. Ridya Aloka. I'm not seeing him. Where's my Shyam? Krishna Kahan, Shyam Kahan. Where are you? Crying, crying, crying. That's why all the water, everywhere in Brajmanda, all the water is salty. Why is the water salty? Because tears are salty. Ashru is salty. When Krishna left Vrindavan, the gopis cried so much, all their tears went in the earth and turned all the storage of water into salt water. Namak Pani, it's called Namak Pani. Katapani. Karapani. Salty, because they cried so much. So this verse was recited by him. So this is Radha Bhav, Radha separation. It's a very key personality to worship. His Vaitak is here in Shamakund side, and Vyasagara. This Vaitak of Madhavendra Puri is here. He came here and sat on the banks of Shamakund. Did bhajan before Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya came in Madhya Lila chapter 17, 18, and before that, Madhavendra Puri was in Govinda Kund doing bhajan, and also in Radha Kunda doing bhajan. So we go to Madhavendra Puri and we pray to him for Radha, for become Bhav Tadatmi as Radharani. We pray, please bless him. Bhavalas Rati, please bless in your Gopi Bhav, Manjari Bhav. That mood of separation, he's the embodiment of Viraha Bhav, intense Viraha. He's crying, crying, crying. Fully Bhav Tadatmi with Radharani's heart. Mahavendra Puri's heart, Radharani's heart. Nice question. Thank you. It's good to remember these great saints. Bhagavati-ji. Getting up every day at 3 o'clock doing bhajan. And no questions, come on. Studying all day, reading all day, chanting all day, serving Vaishnavas all day. No questions? I don't believe it.
Can you speak a little more on the mood of bhajan? Foundation, how to enter bhajan?
What? Speaking more about...
Can you explain more, Maharaj, maybe how to enter bhajan? The foundation, new
Okay, good question. So he's asking a question, how to enter bhajan, what is the mood of bhajan? Whereas bhajan has different forms, different shapes. But for Gaudiya Vaishnavas, our main bhajan is Nam and Smaran. Smaran is the main, Prem Bhakti Chandriya says Smaran and Manara Dharma. The life of Dharma is Smaran. It's Manara Dharma. The main practice, main bhajan for Gaudiya Vaishnavas is to remember the name, Nam Rup Gun Leela of Krishna, especially Leela, Radha Krishna, Vrindavan Leela. So to begin to sit down for bhajan means I'm going to sit down, I'm going to chant Nam Japa and meditate on Leela, or I'm just going to meditate on Leela without Nam Japa. So we do bhajan, meditate on Leela, and do seva there in our siddhya, or aspiring to do seva in our siddhya. And do we chant japa with that or without japa? Either way. Now, how to enter that, begin that by Guru Kripa. It all starts there. We offer prayers to Guru. When you read any books of Goswamis, when they start any seva, they start their seva, like Vilakusamanjali. Vilakusamanjali is one prayer from Stavavali. So he doesn't just start up, so he's doing bhajan. Here, take the example of Das Goswami. Here's an exemplary Raghunaga Sadhaka in Manjri Bhav, Das Goswami, Tulsi Manjri. He sits down, he's going to sit down and meditate on Askali, Radha Krishna, do seva. That's what's described in Manjri. So how does he do it? Just do what he does. He glorifies his guru, he glorifies his param guru, he glorifies Vaitacharya, he glorifies Rupa Goswami. That's the Mangalacharna of the Vilakusamanjali. That's exactly how we do it. It's not a mystery. So what I do the same thing. I read the prayers and I pray. First I pray to my guru. Before I do anything, I offer many prayers. There's nothing more than that I do than pray. When I get up, I wash my hands, my feet, my face, and I clean my teeth and my tongue. And I sit down and chant japa, meditate on Leela, or read Bhagavatam, 10th canto of Bhagavatam. But before I start any of that, I do prayers, prarthana, to Guru, to Vaitacharya, to Rupa Goswami, 6 Goswamis, to Guru Parampara. That's all I do. Everyone does a different thing. That's what I do. There's no one way to do it, but that's the example that's given by our acharyas. My guru, I told my Gurudev what I do, because when I have Giriraj Shil, I do puja, but before I do puja, I bathe. Well, I get up at 3, 4, 5, whatever. I get up at different times. But I get up until 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. I do chanting, reading, meditation. And 8 o'clock, I do other things. Okay. What's the time? Feels late.
5:22.
2.5 hours. I'm running out of gas. What's your question?
How I can make Srimati Radharani happy? How I can please her?
How can I make Radharani happy? How can I please her? You can make Radharani happy and please Radharani by becoming a pure devotee of Krishna. What more? Why Lord Chaitanya came? He came to teach people to become pure devotees of Krishna, which includes Radharani because they're one. Become pure devotee of Radha Krishna. So you can please Radharani by becoming pure devotee. Simple. May take a few lifetimes, but try hard. Anything is try. Pure devotee means you have to become a premi bhakta. Premi Bhakta lives eternally with Radha and Krishna doing seva. So Radharani wants everyone to be a Premi Bhakta. Radharani, Krishna said, I'm going to appear as Gauranga. Radharani said, what about me? He said, you come too. So Radharani came as Gadadhara Pandit. So Gadadhara Pandit is Radharani and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Sakshat Krishna. Vande Krishna Srupa. He has a Bhav and Kanti of Radharani. So Lord Chaitanya wants everybody to become a pure devotee of Radha and Krishna. So that's the goal. So dedicate your life to this in many lifetimes. It's not easy. Read Madhurya Kadambini and you'll know where you stand, or where you're sitting, or where it's a sledgehammer to illusion. Sledgehammer to katora, hammer, hatora to sadhana sadhya brahm. If you have sadhana sadhya brahm, Madhurya Kadambini smash all your ignorance. Especially with the commentaries of Sri Anandadas Babaji Maharaj. Commentary is necessary. Without commentaries, you can't make out what's going on. No way out. Surrender. If not this time around, next time around. If not next time around, next time around. Atma Samarpan. Surrender is the bottom line. First limb of bhakti. Bhakti Rosindra Sinu. Guru Pada Shraya. Take shelter. Sharanagati. Gopal. Anukuyasya Sankalpa Pratikuyasya Varjam. Goshitre Rishishya Titi Vishwasa Goshitre Varanam Tata Sad Atmanikshepana. So 6 symptoms of surrender. So we have to get to it, get to the business of surrendering. Sharanagati. Guru Pada. Surrender to your Guru and follow your Guru. If you surrender to your Guru Padashaya and not Sarvartman, not Vishrambhena Gauraseva, then no Sambandha, no Guru. Have to serve the Guru. Vishramba, without Shramba, without artificiality. Should be respect with love, affectionate respect. Vishramba. This is a formula of success. First 3 steps of bhakti. Guru Padashaya, Diksha, Adi Shiksha. Surrender to Guru, take Diksha, receive Shiksha, and follow it. Serve Guru. That's the formula. Vishrambhena Gauraseva. Then 5th one, Sarvavartmana Vartate. Follow the sadhus. Follow the 6 Goswamis. Plus. 5 steps to success. First is Sharanagati, surrender. Don't take another life. Surrender now. Any last question? I'll take one more question. Yes. What was the question?
Who is Ishwarpuri and Madhavendra in Vrindavan Leela?
Who is Ishwarpuri and Krishna Leela? That's in Gorga and Deshipika. I can't say. No, she's saying that's Madhavendra. She's saying Ishwarpuri.
Both Gurudev. Ishwarpuri and Madhavendra.
Oh, Ishwarpuri is also desired tree.
No, she is asking about Madhavendra Puri and Ishwarpuri.
What's the question again?
Ishwarapuri. Only Ishwarapuri.
You got too much cow dung in your head. I can't even hear. I'm deaf. I can hear it. Ishwar. What's the question? Who is Ishwarapuri and Krishna It sits in my mind right now. It's in Gauraganadesh Deepika by Kavi Karnapur. It sits in my mind. But Ishwara Puri, as Krishna's guru is Sanipani Muni. His kula guru is Garga Vasudeva and Devaki. The kula guru is Garga Rishi, and for Nana Baba, the kula guru is Baguri Muni or Bangira Shandiya Rishi. So the Diksha Guru, because when Krishna went from left Vrindavan, went to Mathura, Vasudeva said, we have to get, this guy doesn't have Diksha, he can't get married. You can't get married to Upanayanam. So Krishna was sent to Ujjain to get Upanayanam from Sanipani Muni. So the Sanipani Muni is the Guru of Krishna because he gave Upanayanam Brahma Gayatri. So Ishwara Puri seems like he should be, I don't know, but the logic is that he's Sanipani Muni. I'll confirm that by looking in my Gauraganadesh Deepika. Do you know? The Krishna Leela identity of Ishwara Puri.
I had defined he was a desire tree.
That's Mahavendra Puri. That's a metaphor. He's not a desire, he's a gopi. Mahavendra Puri is a gopi, he's not told, it's just told because it's not told. Because even that book is not conclusive because your bhav determines your body. 8th chapter Gita, 6th verse. Yam yam vabi sran bhavam tyajit yanti kleram tantam evaiti konteya siddhanta bhava bhavita. So what is the bhav of Mahavendra Puri? And in Gauraganadesh Deepika, Kavi Karnapur says Mahavendra Puri is a kalpavriksha. Prem kalpavriksha, he's a desire tree of love. Why? Because he introduced Radharani. But his bhav, he's in Madhurya Vrati. So I asked my Gurudev, Pandit Sri Krishna's Babaji, I said, what is the form of Mahavendra in the spiritual world? He said he's a gopi, he cannot be but a gopi. But he's only thinking of Radharani and he's identifying Bhav Taratmi with Radharani's Divyam Madanakya Maha, he's identifying with the Madanakya Mahabhava of Radharani. He is fully identifying with the Mahabhava of Radharani and crying out like Radharani crying out for Krishna. So with that kind of bhav, you have to get a body that goes to that bhav. And the body is a gopi. So Mahavendra Puri is a gopi in Vrindavan. This is the conclusion of my guru as a pandit. Makes sense also. Everything has to be together. You can't cultivate a bhav. I cultivate a bhav, Radharani's bhav, I become a tree. Possible, I mean, trees are also Madhurya Ras, but that's not what my guru said. Jaya Jaya Sri Radhe, Jaya Jaya Sri